What is up, guys? Zay from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm very excited to tell you that the rocket catch is back in Madden 21. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming your way here on the Zay Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to take your game to the next level in Madden 21, check out my strategy site, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online head-to-head gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active. So head over to gridirongameplans.gg. $9.95 per month will unlock the entire website, and you can opt out at any time. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to rocket catch with the mid-out elite. This is something that will work on the short or the wide side of the field, but the route that you need is a rare one. This is actually a corner route to an outside receiver. Now, I'm going to be starting this video off against Stephon Gilmore in the zone here, but I want to talk about a few variables that are very, very important with this. The first one is your quarterback's throwing animation. Justin Herbert's going to have a different throwing animation than Joe Montana or Rich Gannon or Culpepper or Vic or any of the other quarterbacks in the game. So practice this timing with your quarterback. The timing will be a little bit different depending on your throw style. If it's a slinger release or a generic release or, any of the different types of releases in the game, practice it with your quarterback. The time in which the ball comes out is the most important part. Then from there, the second most important thing is going to be your pass lead and your click on. Your pass leads on this particular concept needs to be held while you click on to the receiver, because it's going to spin him around in an animation to trigger a jumping animation in front of the defensive back. If you are throwing the ball to the wide side, right side of the field, you're going to hold a down and inside pass lead, give or take 8 o'clock. And you're going to hold that 8 o'clock on the stick while you click onto the receiver. So he's going to turn around down into the inside and snap into a rocket catch animation. So let's go ahead and show you how this works. Down and inside pass lead. You see how he rocket catches. This is a little bit easier to do on the wide side of the field than the short side of the field. It's also really, really nice because a purple zone set to 25 yards, which is the case here, is not going to have time to get out there on this throw. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this corner route. This is in the gun doubles in the Arizona Cardinals offense, and I'm smart routing it. The mid-out elite is a 10 to 20 yard outside the numbers ability. So I smart routed up to 10 yards to ensure that this ability will be active. Snap the ball. And I'm going to hold a down and outside pass lead, down and inside rather, and I'm going to hold on and try to hold wide. Now I threw an interception there, and the reason that I threw the interception is because of the press. Here's the good news. Most players do not play press because there are so many easy ways to, place a guy in a fade and get a press animation. Most players are going to shade over the top. So if you see a press animation, bail out on this. But if you see a over the top shade, go ahead and throw this ball down and inside, hold down and Y, and you're going to catch the ball very, very easily. So with that particular read, you want to make sure that there's no jam, and you hold your thumbstick down into the inside while you click on and then press Y. So let's go ahead and do this again. Shade over the top, 25-yard purple zones, smart route our corner up to 10 yards. Down and inside, hold the stick. There's the rocket animation. He holds onto the ball. Very, very easy on the wide side of the field. Now you're probably asking, if you have zones set to 25 yards, why aren't they getting out there? And that's because purple zones drop into the seam before they drop to the sideline. So you see that he's dropping inside the numbers, but he doesn't get out to the sideline nearly enough to cause a catch and traffic penalty. So what we have here is this rocket catch animation. You could literally see right here, this is embarrassing, Mr. Gilmore. But you see what Keenan Allen is doing to Gilmore on this play. Now again, this is what Keenan Allen does. If you can get this out of a 6'3", 6'4" receiver, it gets even better for the offense. So let's go ahead and do this one more time here. And then we're going to shift over to the gunslinger portion of the video. So again, shade over the top. This is a down and inside pass lead on a smart routed corner route on the outside. Again, the Arizona Cardinals book. Down and inside, hold your stick. And he tried the animation, but that is the margin for error that I talked about. with him being a little bit shorter, sometimes the ball goes over his head. So as long as you can get this out of your receiver with Keenan Allen, this is what you're looking for. This is the ideal scenario. Again, if this is Julio Jones, DK Metcalf, Randy Moss on this is going to be a catch every single time. But Keenan Allen's just a little bit shorter, and that's why this failed. But again, this is also a safe throw in that if you screw up, chances are the ball's going out of bounds as well. So now let's go ahead and go over to the Gunslinger portion of this video. So in this portion of the tutorial, I want to talk about Gunslinger, and I think that Gunslinger is less of a rocket catch situation. It's more of like a click on and catch a smart out route situation. Smart out routes aren't actually great against one step ahead, but the one thing that we can actually use with this outside corner against the one step ahead is that it cheats up and outside, because that's where a corner is going after the break. It's going to go up and to the outside. So what we're going to be able to do here with our Gunslinger is just understand that with extra velocity comes lower trajectory. So you're talking less about a rocket catch animation, and you're talking more about just actually catching the ball in front of the defensive back and taking your 12 to 15 yards. Maybe if they acrobat and dive, you could actually get a one-play score out of it, but it's less about actually dunking on the guy or getting that rocket animation. So with the Gunslinger, I actually like to throw an inside pass lead. It's not down and inside. It's more of like a 9 o'clock pass lead if you're throwing it to the right sideline, or a 3 o'clock to the left. And you're still going to hold that same pass lead, just like the down and inside. So that remains consistent. If you're throwing 9 o'clock, stay on 9 o'clock while you click on and then press Y. And I like to throw it right before they hit that cut to allow that one step to cheat. So you can see right here, boom, hold Y. You see I'm able to get that cut. So it's not really like a leaping animation. There's no turnaround on a dime like you saw with Keenan Allen. There's none of that whatsoever. It's actually it just looks like a regular possession catch, but it's really an aggressive. You see here that it just puts it in a spot where I can, it's just enough separation against this one step ahead. It's about two steps, and it's just in a spot where I'm going to be able to catch it with no purple zone on me. As opposed to with regular trajectory, like we saw with Herbert in the previous example, it very clearly was a leap in front and a much smoother click on. I mean, in fact, I think it looks better with Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert than it does with Rodgers and Julio. But Julio is going to be easier to rocket catch with a guy that doesn't have Gunslinger, just for the record. So again, here you're going to see like inside pass lead down, and you see right there my click on was sloppy. Again, the lower trajectory and the lower, the higher speed, your click ons are really hard with this, like really, really, really hard. But you saw right there, I got the whiff on the acrobat that I just talked about. So that does tend to happen with the Gunslinger. So again, here, just trying to like get the ball. And you see, like, it's just not letting me click on. And that's not something that's bad stick work by me. That's literally the ball is coming out and the trajectory is so different that it makes it a pain. So like I said, I never made any promises that Gunslinger was as good, but it is something that you'll have to practice in a different way. I didn't want you guys that are using Gunslinger to be like, hey, why am I throwing picks? Well, I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is really hard. I mean, you see right there, I was able to get the animation, and that's kind of what you're looking for, right? That's the ideal scenario. But that's not really a rocket catch. That's just like him turning around and catching the ball with his feet on the ground. Not that it's necessarily bad. I mean, if you know that this coverage is coming and you practice this can still steal touchdowns away from your opponent. I mean, again, you just got to get it down. I mean, as you can tell, it is really hard for me to do. I mean, you saw right there, I was able to do it. Your click on's got to be crisp. Really got to be crisp. You have next to no margin for error. So again, all I'm doing here with the Gunslinger is I'm throwing more of an inside pass lead. If I was throwing a 7 o'clock pass lead in the previous section, it's more of an 8, maybe even a 9 o'clock pass lead with the Gunslinger, because you want to make sure that you're not lowering a ball that's already coming out low due to the ability. So again, you see right here, and right there, it just didn't let me click on. I mean, you've got to be so fast with your click on. Another thing to consider is if you guys are playing on a server and you're playing somebody across the country with a Gunslinger, a lot of times button registry is a lot slower. So this is a lot tougher with a Gunslinger. On top of that, when you're playing online head-to-head. So be quick, throw the ball, and then get there and click on. I mean, you see that even if you're a split second late, like that was almost a good click on, but if you're a split second late, it ends up getting picked. This is one throw right here where Gunslinger, in my opinion, actually hurts you. So I would keep a backup quarterback on your roster with a throwing animation that you like to practice with that doesn't have Gunslinger specifically for this throw. That's just one spot on your team. Most players don't run a 2-quarterback system, but you see right here, I mean, it's just so much harder with a Gunslinger. So I'm going to leave it there. It's possible with a Gunslinger, but it's not preferred, that's for sure. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, make sure you guys drop those below. Again, guys, practice this with your quarterback. Practice the throwing animation. You know, again, if you guys use Gannon, figure out which throwing animation that is, slap it on a quarterback and go to work with it. Practice it. If you guys use Gunslinger, change Rodgers. Change his throwing style animation to whatever you guys use. If you use Josh Allen with Gunslinger and Mutt, you should absolutely be looking up Josh Allen's throwing animation and changing Aaron Rodgers' throw style to that exact animation so you can practice with the equivalent of Josh Allen and Mutt. So those are my parting words. Again, guys, appreciate you guys watching the video. Until next time, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.